Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, jumbo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jedley, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. As always, we are so very grateful that you are taking the time to join us today. We love that you are part of our beautiful Reading with Your Kids family. We are so very excited to welcome back our friend Alison T Broderick to the show. She is the author of the Healthy Habits series, and she's here today to introduce us to her new book, Marcy Mabel Mollie McMann. You know, we're really happy that Alison is here talking about how we can help our kids make healthy choices. And you know, we need to make healthy choices too. You know, the brightest moments of 2019 start with your smallest choices. Snack better, feel better, and be better every day with the help of our friends at readingwithyourkids.com/yummy. That's where you're going to find out about our buddies over at Love with Food. We love with Food. I mean, every month you get a curated selection of great healthy snacks that you and your family can check out. I just received our deluxe box. Inside it, we found this beautiful gluten-free, sweet and salty peanut treat that my daughter really loved. And I love this thing. It's called an RX bar. And talk about simple packaging. It's the RX bar, 3 egg whites, 14 peanuts, 2 dates, no BS. And I'm not BSing you when I'm telling you it's delicious. The other thing I love about Love with Food is that for every box that they deliver, they donate a meal to a needy family. And to date, they have donated over 1 million meals to people in need. That's why we love with Food. You can check it all out. And please, if you go to our website, readingwithyourkids.com/yummy, and check out Love with Food from there, they help support the podcast, and you can get 40% off your first purchase. Check it all out at readingwithyourkids.com/yummy. You are going to love with Food. If you're the author of a great children's book, we would love to have you as a guest on the Reading with Your Kids podcast. And if you're the author of a great children's book, you are also the head of your business. That's right. And your business is the business of selling your great children's book. And you want to do it right. That's why I think you should check out readingwithyourkids.com/inkfile, INCFILE. readingwithyourkids.com/inkfile. Inkfile helps you quickly and easily form your LLC, S Corp, C Corp, or any other business. Start your business today for as little as $49 and state fees. There's no contracts. There's no hidden fees. Inkfile has been trusted by over 150,000 businesses worldwide since 2004. Check it out today. Remember, you are the head of a business once you write your great children's book. You want to do it right. Go to our website, readingwithyourkids.com/inkfile, INCFILE, readingwithyourkids.com/inkfile. I always love it when in the first couple of minutes during the pre-show that me and the guests are laughing, because it tells me that we're going to have a great interview. We're welcoming back one of our favorite guests. She is the author of the Healthy Habits series, and she's here today to talk about her brand new book, Marcy Mabel Mollie McMann. Please welcome back Alison T Broderick. Alison, how are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
So excited to have you back. Now, you're in Marietta, Georgia. How's it? We had snow here this morning in Boston. Any snow in Marietta?
Definitely no snow. However, plenty of rain, so much so that I've considered building an ark.
Okay. That's a lot of rain. That is
a
lot of
yes.
rain. Well, we had so much fun when you were here with us before talking about the first book in the series, Samuel Stanley Scotty Snight. And I love these tongue-tying titles. What is Marcy Mabel Mollie McMann about?
Oh, sure. So Marcy Mabel Mollie McMann, yes, you're right. It is another tongue twister. But it is the second book in our Healthy Habits book series, and it's about a little girl who loves to get dirty, loves to play outside, but she does not love to wash her hands.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a problem. A consequence follows, similar to Samuel Stanley, Scotty Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to spoil it too much, but yes, a good lesson.
Yeah. And this is, it's one of those lessons that every kid has to deal with, because kids love to get dirty and they love to play in the muck. And they love to get their hands all gooey, and then when they come in, they want to get their hands right into the gooey food, and like you said, that can cause some real problems.
It sure can, and it's funny you say that, because even last night, as we were about to sit down for dinner, I had to remind our boys, who are 15 and 13, did you wash your hands? And sure enough, they did not.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's boys, sometimes they have just a harder time learning things. It's tough.
Or maybe they just have more fun outside.
That could be. I love that. Looking on the positive angle of that. Remind us, what was it that inspired you to write this Healthy Habits series? Sure.
So I actually wrote Samuel Stanley Scotty Knight when I was 17 years old. And it was a part of an English assignment. I was a senior in high school, and the English assignment, I believe at the time, was to pen something similar to Shel Silverstein's poems. And so honestly, I may have spent an hour on that assignment. I enjoyed school, but I think I enjoyed friends more. So I'm certain that I enjoyed writing this story about Samuel. However, it did not take long.
Well, sometimes those are the songs that the books or the songs that make the most impact. Alice and I were talking about an artist, recording artist that we love, Lauren Daigle, before we started the interview. And at the event, I was telling about where I ran into Lauren again this past year. Another one of my favorite artists, Peter Furler, who had been the lead singer for the Newsboys, was there, and he was talking to me and another person, and he was telling us that one of the Newsboys' biggest hits was a throwaway song that they wrote in about 10 minutes, and they just needed 3 minutes to complete the album, and they were out of ideas, and they kind of sat down, and they wrote this silly song about they don't serve breakfast in hell, and put it on, not thinking that they would do anything else but just fill up the album, and lo and behold, that became one of their top selling songs of all times.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So, the fact that a writer doesn't spend weeks and months and years slaving over a book doesn't mean that it's not a great book and won't make an impact on your kids. Did you have the same experience writing Marcy Mabel Mollie McMann?
I just like to hear you try to get through it. It's funny you asked that, because I spent a whole lot more time on the second book at age, 38 than I did at age 17 with the first. So probably knowing what I know today, I tend to be hard on myself. I tend to want it a certain way, and so yeah, two totally different ways of going about writing a story, but each were good lessons for me as well.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I love about your books is that it's a really fun way to teach kids and to help them develop healthy habits without kind of dragging them by the earlobe into the bathroom to wash their hands or to brush their teeth. It's just a great fun way to start a discussion about why we need to develop these healthy habits.
That's right. Well, if you think about it, so kids don't know what they don't know. Mm-hmm. And so It really is. It starts in the home, of course, with parents and loved ones, but also there are other ways in which they can learn. So reading, I'm a huge proponent of kids' literature, but also they learn in the classroom. And so this is just another vehicle. This series is another vehicle to drive home the message in a fun, lighthearted way. But also I've had a lot of parents who have given me feedback about the first book, and they continuously use Samuel as their character for driving home the message of brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
So, it seems maybe small to us as adults at times, but these are big lessons and we have to learn them.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I'm blown away with, the whole, dental hygiene and making those healthy habits of brushing your teeth and doing it right. And it seems that they change it the way you're supposed to brush your teeth all the time. But flossing and all that kind of stuff. For most of my life, I thought, well, yeah, I want to have teeth in my head when I get to be 100. I need to do these things. But I'm learning that it's more than that. There's actually, they're discovering that bacteria in your mouth can cause heart disease. And I think there's some neurological issues and all sorts of other things that no one really had any idea about.
That's right. It's really eye-opening for sure. Even cancers and just to have a clean mouth. And you're right, the bacteria. So for me, I always thought mouthwash even was, that's just a benefit maybe for those around me. so I'm not too stinky. But it actually is a benefit for the health of our teeth and our mouth and our entire body.
Yeah. Insane. Well, tell us some of the more, just remind us and give us some more ideas of the benefits, making sure that our kids wash their hands and some things that we can communicate to our kids that maybe is not at the top of our minds.
Sure. So it's actually a perfect time for the book to come out because it is cold and flu season, or it is coming up, that's for sure. And so it's a good book for pediatricians' offices, classrooms. It really helps for me when I enjoyed the author visits at schools. If we're right smack dab in the middle of cold and flu season, it again drives the message home of why. So Marcy Mabel Mollie McMann, she does get sick because she never bothers to wash her hands. But what was also fun about this is she mimics a lot of who I was at 8 years old.
Really? That's
right. Yes.
Fascinating. One of the things I had never thought of this before, but it's like a no-brainer. The kids are outside, they're playing in the muck. Come in and wash your hands before, you have a cold. You don't want to be spreading, covering your mouth with your hand and sneezing into it and all that kind of stuff. But I was fascinated to learn that, when we go to tie our shoes, that the laces can be filled with germs because and it makes sense because they're on the ground and they're dragging through all the muck and the mud and whatever it's on the ground.
That's right. Yes. Germs. And that's what makes this so fun is that Mina is our illustrator for the second book as well. And she is an incredible illustrator and artist. And so she has one particular spread in the book where the germs, they have almost like a personality. They've got a face on them and she's sneezing and it really makes the book just come alive with the vivid colors and we're a good team.
That's great. That must be a blast to be able to have that kind of connection with another artist and another creative person and bounce those ideas back and forth and to inspire each other.
Oh, definitely. And what's even more incredible and telling of our day and age is Mina lives in, I believe it's Portugal. So I have never met her in person, and yet we have this close relationship, many, many miles away. So it's really neat that, her and I can connect as a team, and there was no one else I would have rather had for the second book.
That's wonderful. Now, you mentioned this is the Healthy Habits series, and so we're talking about take good oral care and washing your hands. What do you have for future editions in the series?
Sure. So I have a couple of ideas, and I would love to ask any of your listeners to feel free and send me a message with ideas of the next character name. Of course, it will be 4 names, and I would like it to be a little boy again this time. But I do believe it might be a little boy who fails to clean his room, and what that can mean. And I shouldn't use the word fails, but just doesn't seem to make that a priority.
Well, going on my own experience, Christopher might be a great first name.
I know a couple of boys myself.
Well, my Christopher is now just got married, and he still doesn't clean. No, I'm sure he has a lovely home and a beautiful bride. And
congratulations!
Thank you. And you know, it was part of it. As I'm looking back, and you know, of course, at the wedding, everybody's telling you, "Whoa, what a great son you have, and he's so nice." And we're telling the bride's family how beautiful she is and how wonderful she is, and it was true. And you look back, and it's these little things that help a child grow into that responsible adult. You know, being responsible, taking care of your room. Even though it's a battle every night, it's, you know, yes, you need to be able to take care of your room. You need to be able to wash your hands. You need to be responsible for taking care of your teeth. In developing those habits and developing those disciplines, it goes a long way into shaping the total person.
Oh, I could not agree more. And, you know, caring for others is such an important attribute, that we help others, that we show kindness. But I do believe that it begins with ourselves first. So you hear a lot about self-care and discipline, getting up every morning, making your bed. Sometimes we don't always know why we're making our bed, but in my opinion, it instills this commitment that I am going to show up on this day. I am going to do my best. And yeah, just instills the discipline.
Yep. I recently heard an author, not a children's author, but an adult author say, you make your bed because you can look back and say, all right, the day just started and I've already accomplished something.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love that. Yes. I work in mental health as well. And a few of my clients, I will encourage them to make their bed, because making up their bed is also a way of making their mind. That today I am going to live my life in recovery, and whatever that may be, in recovery from depression or anxiety. But yeah, there's a lot more to making a bed than just the sheets.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's that whole idea of getting kids into the habit of, you know, doing these things, getting into the discipline of taking care of your mouth, washing your hands, cleaning your room, keeping things in order. You know, one of the things I used to share with my kids is it's, you know, floating down a river can, you know, when you're at the resort on vacation, that can be fun, but you don't want to live your life like that. You want to have some direction and some purpose, and to kind of be present in life and not just let life happen to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What great fun books. And that's one of the things about your books, and one of the things about your illustrations. They really are fun. And so I can definitely see kids just loving this and wanting. I mean, the kids are going to want you to read this book to them over and over again just to hear you mess up Marcy Mabel Mollie McMann.
That's right.
Well, tell everybody your website so they can go and check out both books and learn more about you.
Sure. So the website is www.Alison T Broderick, and that is Alison with one L, Alison T, and Broderick is BRODERICK.com.
AlisonTBroderick.com. Check out her Healthy Habits series. And the latest book is Marcy Mabel Mollie McMann. Did I do it?
You did it!
Yeah, all right. Alison T Broderick, thanks so much for being part of our show today.
Thank you so much. It was a delight speaking and laughing with you.
Please be sure to join us for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guests will be Scott and Laura Jordan. They are the authors of the Yo Margo books. They just love their dog Margo, and you are just going to love them. Hey, if you are the author of a great children's book, like I said at the beginning of the show, we would love to have you as a guest on the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Being a guest, it's fun, it's easy, and it is absolutely free. You get a chance to tell the world about your great children's book. And like I said, it really is easy. All you need to do is go to our website, readingwithyourkids.com. Click on the contact button. Let us know all about your great book. We will let you know the next easy steps. Speaking of great children's books, in a minute, I'm going to ask my buddy Chris Hardy to come in and tell you all about my award-winning children's book, The Great Maratini. But before he does, I just want to thank Alison T Broderick for being here today. And, of course, we want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. This episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast is brought to you by Jetley's award-winning children's book, The Great Maratini.
A very long time ago, there was a boy named Sam who liked to do his magic tricks, and he was quite the ham. He was called the Great Maratini, the best magician of his age, but his greatest feat took place far away from any stage. Every trick Sam tried to do would somehow come out wrong, but Sam just kept on going, and that's what made him strong. He was called the Great Maratini, the best magician of his age, but his greatest feat took place far away from any stage. One day as he traveled, he helped a stranger in need, and this was not a trick, oh no, but a magical good deed. He was called the Great Maratini, the best magician of his age, but his greatest feat took place far away from any stage. He was called the Great Maratini, the best magician of his age, but his greatest feat took place far away from any stage.
To get your autographed copy of the giant bilingual edition of The Great Maratini, please visit greatmaratini.com.